Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my main marketing boot camp. And if you're here with me live, welcome, welcome. And if you're watching this on YouTube or on my blog or in a product, then I'm so happy to have you here for this awesome marketing boot camp that has created such a difference for people. I've actually been getting such great responses from those who have taken action and even had breakthroughs in their businesses and in their sales and in how they're showing up. So it's been a really exciting experience so far. And so I hope that you've enjoyed it as well. Now, if you're just joining me for the first time, I'm excited to connect with you. My name is Amy Yamada, and I'm here to help you to deeply connect with yourself, your vision, and your ideal clients so that you can create the impact and the income that you've always wanted. So before we continue on into this week, which is all about the offer part of my Create, Connect, Offer system, I want to share a quick story with you. So this morning I woke up really early, like way before my alarm clock, and I felt rested and the sun's shining. So for those of us who live in the Pacific Northwest, like this time of year we love because we're like, oh yay, the sun is out. And yes, we do have sunny days in the Seattle area. So whatever you've heard, just know that spring, summer, and fall, this is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I mean, we've got the green trees everywhere and blue skies and the water. It's like a perfect temperature. So if you haven't been here, like I highly recommend coming. And I live in Kirkland, Washington, which is my favorite area of the greater Seattle area. So it's on the east side of Lake Washington. So Seattle's on the west side of Lake Washington. So on the east side, there's this really great city called Kirkland. And some of you may have heard of Kirkland, like if you shop at Costco, the Kirkland brand. Yes, we are the proud headquarters of where that started. But in Kirkland, we've got all these like really beautiful beach parks and marinas and boutiques and little restaurants and cafes. And so it's just this little quaint area that I always loved. And for years, I always thought, gosh, I really want to live in Kirkland. And finally, I just made the decision, right? It's all about vision-based steps. And I've been living here for the last little over 7 years. And I've been in the Seattle area a lot longer, but it's just an awesome area. So anyway, total sidebar. Also, so I got up this morning early, and I was thinking about my vision, my big dream. You know, I'm always connecting in with it because I find that that's what really keeps me focused on a daily basis. Remember, the number one rule of entrepreneurship is laser-like focus. And so even one of the women on my team yesterday, we were on a dream team call, and I was talking about really staying on point. And she said to me, she said, you know, I can't even ever imagine you not being focused. And I smiled and I said, you know, it's the thing that keeps me on point is that I always bring it back to my vision and my why. So it's not that I'm always like jumping out of bed to get started on everything. However, I do get into that mindset fairly quickly because I think about like, what do I want to create today? What am I committed to creating today? What's my big vision for this year? And am I committed to really showing up powerfully today in everything that I'm doing, whether it's being on Facebook Live or working with my team or being on a call with one of my VIP clients, you know, whatever I'm up to that day. It's like, how committed am I to showing up powerfully and being present? Because today is the only, you know, in this case, May 23rd, 2018, that'll ever exist. So why would I not make this day count? And I thought, what could I do? I always like to think about up-leveling. Like, what could I do to take this to the next level? And I remembered that at Powerhouse, Florida, so the last retreat that we did, a dear friend of mine, colleague, also a powerhouse entrepreneur who joined us at this amazing retreat, she brought me a gift. And she said on her way there, she was flying in, and she went to one of the gift shops at the airport, you know, just kind of like, you know, making the time go by while she's waiting for her flight. So Karina Stewart, who's amazing, she got me this journal, and I know it's backwards, but it's a freedom journal. And it was so sweet of her because she had heard me share that my word for the year is freedom. Like, if there's anywhere in my life I don't feel free, this is the year I'm committed to setting myself free, like completely. Like, so even if externally everything seems great, if internally I don't feel totally free, then those are the areas I get to work on deep down inside. So admittedly, I hadn't been using it. You know, it's a 2018 planner. So here we are in May, and she gave it to me in February. And I'm like, you know, why not bring purpose to this beautiful journal that she gave me that has these quotes? I mean, you flip through, and it has like, each month has these beautiful quotes. I mean, it's so pretty, right? All these beautiful quotes and vibrant colors. And it's all about love and commitment and being on purpose. I mean, it's so in alignment with me. And so I thought, you know what? This gets to be my freedom journal moving forward. And every morning I'm committed to writing in this journal a minimum of 3 things, so like, and really keeping it to 3, maybe 4 things that are the things that I'll do today that I'm committed to on top of my usual responsibilities that are in alignment with setting myself free. So I call it three to set me free, right? 3 to set me free. And it felt really good to just be in a quiet space this morning and write these things down. And then I shared it with my my mastermind that I'm in. I'm in a really great mastermind called 1%, and there's just an intimate group of us in there. And I shared, and Karina's in there as well. So I shared what I was doing, and I said I would love to know what your 3 to be free are today. Not something that you were already planning on doing, but what are the 3 things that you can do today that are in line with your bigger vision? That once you go to sleep tonight, you'll be like, wow, I really made some progress. And keeping in mind that these 3 things, these 3 commitments don't have to take a long time. It could be an email, it could be a phone call, it could be, reaching out to someone that you've wanted to connect with, that you've really admired and you want to be a part of something. So I just wanted to share that in case that inspires any of you to think about, even how we got started with this marketing bootcamp. It was all around your vision. And I'm curious to know, like, how many of you connect in daily with your big vision and your why. And I'm always thinking about, okay, I will do everything I can to hold myself accountable. I also know that the secret sauce is to have a great coach and a great community to hold me even higher than what I see possible. So even telling them on how they can best coach me. So one of my coaches that's in my fitness world, I said to her this morning, I said, okay, I'm going to give you a little secret. If you want to, like, help you, help me. I always think of Jerry Maguire, help me, help you. I love that scene, right? So I'm like, if you want me to help you, help me, to help myself. I know it's kind of funny. I gave her the secret sauce. I was like, what you can do is every week just say, what is your commitment for this week for your workouts? So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, how committed are you? And question number 3 is, what is your why behind it? And I know even when I was telling this, I'm like, oh no, now I'm going to help her to help me hold myself even more accountable, because I know when I'm not committed ahead of time, I don't follow through. Like that is my vulnerability, and that's what I get to break through. So even by letting the people know that are influencing you how to best coach you, super powerful. So I just want to give you a little behind the scenes. A lot of times people say, like, well, what's your mindset around this? Or how do you stay focused? Or how do you keep doing all these cool things? And yes, there are the steps that I take externally, the strategic steps that I take, and that's great. And I know, and I believe you know, that deep down inside, it's about the inner work. It's about the mindset. It's about what you believe. It's about breaking through those limiting beliefs. It's about breaking through those habits. We are all habit-based, and every single day we are practicing. We are in a practice. Now, the practice may be practicing something that is not in alignment with your highest self. Whatever it is you're doing is a practice. So even when people are in the habit of not making decisions, that's a practice. And what that's doing is that it's solidifying a belief within yourself, like really validating a limiting belief that I do not trust myself to make a decision. And so if you have all the information in front of you to make a decision, why not just make it and go for it? So these are the things that I just get fired up with, inside of me, because I'm like, okay, I never want to be one of those people who grows up to be, in my elderly years, that looks back on a life half lived. I am so not okay with that. So instead, I just think about, okay, what kind of person do I want to show up as today? What can I do to commit to my highest self? What can I do to take it to the next level? And just also really love my life. Like, love my life exactly as it is today. Not I will be happy when. Like, I get to be present today. So working towards, that next level while also being present in the moment. So I hope that inspires you. It's something I feel really passionate about. So get this. Before I got on this call, I always center myself before I jump on the Facebook Live. And I was thinking about my freedom journal. And I thought, I'm going to flip through to a page that has a quote. And this is what I think is so beautiful. So I flipped to this page, and here's the quote on this page. It says, "The power of love. When we love, we always want to be better than we are." Let me say that again. The power of love. When we love, we always want to be better than we are. And that's from The Alchemist. And what made me smile even bigger after I read that, because I'm like, that is so true, is that, I get a little teary. um, and it opened up to the, okay, so this is my vulnerability. It opened up to the page that had February 23rd, which happens to be my mom's birthday. And as I mentioned yesterday, you know, she passed away in 2010. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so appropriate. So don't mind my tears here. It's not about me. I just want to share because it's like, I feel like we get these messages sometimes, you know, and it's like, I know that the reason I'm so passionate about the work that I do is that I know that you who are watching right now are someone who is so purpose-driven and that you want to make a bigger difference in this world and you want to have your own financial freedom. And when you are able to have that breakthrough and know that it doesn't have to be so hard, emotions, then you get to like do that and stop stopping yourself and know that life is not forever, you know? And that's something that, like, even though I would give anything to have my mom back in my life to see what I'm up to now, it's like, I get these messages and I just am reminded of like how amazing this precious life is. And that if you have a gift and a message that you're meant to share with the world and you're stopping yourself, like this is your chance to break through and make a decision. Make a decision that today is a day that I'm going to not hold back, that I'm going to do the 3 things that are going to set me free, that I'm going to reach out to that person I know that I can help that has said, I need to think about it, or I don't have the money, or I don't know if I can do this, and just breathe that life into them because you see what is possible for them. It's beyond business. It's beyond business, and life is so short. Life is so short. So if you are so ready to take that next step and know that what if you were not, you know, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So if you knew that this was your last day and you were here to make a difference, like what difference could you make today that would be a lasting impression on the world? Like what's the dent that you want to make in the universe? What's the change that you want to make? And when I think about this, like that quote, it's so perfect. It's like when we can just come from a loving space, we want to be better. When we can let go of our limiting beliefs, when we know that it's not about us and our fears. Every single person I know has that inner critic, myself included. And it's just that when you let that inner critic drive you and be the person, like the little inner critic person that's like, you don't get to do this, or who am I to think I can do this, or who am I to think that I can write that book or speak on that stage or start that podcast or that Facebook Live. It's like, who are you not to? And if you come from a place of love and compassion and making a difference and start now and focus out and think about the people you get to make a difference for, you'll stop listening to that little voice and say, you know what? This is just the little inner critic that's tied to a limiting belief that is creating the results in my life. And I'm so over it. I'm so over it. And instead, I'm going to commit to my higher version of myself, the highest version of myself. And I'm not going to wait until the end of life to say, I wish I would have. So that's what I wanted to share before I go into today's training. And, you know, for those of you who have lost loved ones, maybe you've had that moment too, where you see them in their final days and you see them and you think about your own life and you think about the life they lived and you think about, like, I remember being with my mom on her last day. And, you know, I'm so blessed that I could be there with her, holding her hand as she took her last breath. And she was in a vegetative state for several months. I mean, it was a life-changing experience. And I only bring this up not for you to be sad for me. You know, I've done a lot of healing around it. Of course, clearly I still have emotions that come up. And I hear from people who've lost loved ones many, many years later. Still, it's not like the grieving ends. It just, you know, comes in these waves every once in a while. But my point is, in that moment, I made a promise to myself. In that moment, I said to my mom, it's like, you know, thank you for being the best mom, and thank you for inspiring me and for setting the example of a woman that I would want to become. So that being said, I know that was a message from Mom, and thank you, Mom, for that. And I'm here to serve you. And so especially, I mean, I've been loving seeing those of you who've been showing up like every single day of this marketing boot camp. And even though, yes, it's so great to expand my own platform with my marketing boot camp and all of that, deep down inside, my deeper passion is to be a change maker for the change makers, right? To make a difference for you, because I know you're here to make a massive difference. So we can be this ripple effect that moves forward. It's beyond you, it's beyond business, and we get to really stand strong together. So thank you for listening to this story. And, as we segment into today's training, I want you to think about that, of coming from a place of love and compassion, and really think about why you're here. Like, what's the mission and the movement and the message that you stand for? And when you're in front of someone, whether it's one person or a room of 1,000 people, what are you standing for? Like, what are you here to share with them, and how committed are you to this process? So this week has been all about the offer. What is your offering? What is your offering to the world? How are you making your offer? How are you calling people forward? How are you making an invitation to those that can go further with you, that you can make a difference for, that you can use your expertise? And if you don't see yourself as an expert, think about a result that you've created. What have you already achieved? And where were you then? Where are you now? I talked about this a little bit yesterday. And reverse engineer those steps. So don't be teaching something that you haven't already done yourself, or where you don't have others in your, in your team that can teach alongside you. Excuse me. And think about these next steps. Okay. So on that note, shifting over. So today is all about, I've been sharing with you my Beyond You. So BEYOND, the letter U, my Beyond You enrollment conversation. And as I mentioned, I know there's lots of different trainings out there. And over the last 20 years plus, I've been in the world of marketing and sales, and I've taken the best of the best and also brought in my own belief system of focusing out and making a difference, being less attached, like not attached to the sale, and being committed to making a difference, and knowing that when you have enough of these conversations, that's the key, is not being attached. Like, I have this one enrollment call coming up and this person has to say yes because I have to pay my bills. Think about the energy you're bringing through in that call. Think about the energy. Shift and say, I get to be abundantly minded. There are so many people out there that can use my help, and I'm committed to putting myself out there in a big way so I can have enough conversations, or my sales team, my Make a Difference team can have enough conversations so that we together are making a bigger difference. Okay, so today we're going into the O and the N of Beyond You. So to recap, the B, it's all about their big dream. What's their big dream? What's their big dream? What is it? And you can go back to that training if you want to hear how I broke that down. The E was all about effort. What effort have they put into this big dream of theirs over the last 3 months? What effort are they putting into it now? So you get a sense of where they are and where they're feeling stuck. And then the Y was all about the storytelling, the yes, you can story. I broke it down into the PSR, problem, solution, results. I know there's a lot of letters, but this is how hopefully can help you break it down. So that was yesterday's training. So then we transition smoothly into the offering. Okay, so if I've shared with someone a story, a yes, you can story, and we're connecting and we're really going deep on what their big dream is, then now I know, first of all, I'm deciding whether or not to make an offer. So remember what I shared the other day. If you believe in your heart of hearts that you can help this person get from here to here, then it's your duty, it's your service to make an offer. Alternatively, if what they're sharing with you is not in alignment with what you offer, then don't make the offering. You can still make a recommendation. You can still give them an idea of what you would do if you were in their shoes, of things that they can do to go for their dreams and all that. That's great. So if you do believe that you can make a difference for them, that's when you transition into the offer. I recommend, this is funny. I recommend that you make the offer in the form of a recommendation, right? They're coming to you as the expert. They're coming to you as the authority. They're coming to you to see how you can best guide them, support them, and hold them accountable to the next step. So this is where I transition to the offering. And so I would say something like, I see, okay, Sophia, based on everything that you've shared with me, here's what I recommend. I recommend that you step into my, and for those of you who are coaches or have a package, so maybe it's you're purchasing I recommend my ABC product, I recommend that you step into my Powerhouse California opportunity and then share the reason, right? And the reason why is that when you share with me that you're really wanting to make a bigger impact in this world, attract more clients, so you can create the income you want to go on that trip that you've dreamed of, that Disney trip that you've dreamed of with your family, then this is the next step for you. Okay, so you're making the offer in the form of a recommendation and tying it in with their big dream. Like, what is that big dream for them? Okay, so then you go into the N of Beyond You, which is the nuts and bolts of what you offer. So this is when you're getting into the logistics of it all. So in the nuts and bolts, I break it down into 3 steps, okay? The nuts and bolts are where you share the overview, the logistics, and the investment. The overview, the logistics, and the investments. These are the nuts and bolts of your offering. So the overview is when you give some bullet points of what's included, not the breakdown. So let me back up for a moment. So let me give you an example. So if I'm talking about Powerhouse California, which is my 6-week intensive intimate group training program, plus a 2-day retreat in California, Rancho Santa Fe. So I know some of you who are on here are coming, super excited. It's almost sold out. Like yesterday, someone stepped in, really excited for her. And so if I were going into that part of the nuts and bolts, I would say, talk about the overview. Say, so as for the overview, here's what it looks like. What we'll be doing is we'll be taking you through and really holding you high to your big vision, your big dream. So when you're talking about the things that the effort that you've put in and the effort that you need to put in, or where you're getting stuck, then these are the very areas that will be helping you. And once you're able to overcome that, then you'll be able to really have a clear plan on your marketing strategies for the next 6 months. You'll bring your marketing message to the next level. You'll actually have some content created for email marketing, and you'll also be able to feel stronger and more empowered in your enrollment conversations, your beyond you make a difference conversations. So I'm just giving like the highlight reel, like, when you see a trailer of a movie, like these are the cool things that are going to be happening in this movie. You want to come see it. Like that's the highlight reel, not the nuts and bolts of the logistics. So it's just the overview. So I'd say, so as far as the overview goes, how does that sound to you? So write that down. As far as the overview goes, how does that sound to you? If you've done a good job all throughout the conversation up until that point, they'll see how what you're offering as an overview tied in with their vision is pretty amazing. They're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness there's someone that can help me get from point A to point B. And if they say, sounds great, that's when you go into the logistics. So that's when you go into like what's included in terms of, how many if it's a group coaching program or if it's a retreat or an event, like what are the dates of it? So I would say for Powers California, great. So as I mentioned, it's 6-week intensive coaching program. It's a small group. So we're going to be on these intimate group coaching calls through Zoom. So we're going to see each other's faces and smiles, find it creates more connection, and I'll be able to answer your questions. And aside from these 6 group coaching calls that are kicking off in mid-June, we're all going to fly in or drive in to the San Diego area. And on June, and this is where, remember yesterday I was talking about the tone and pacing. So in the logistics, once again, you want to slow it down and imagine that they're picking up a pen and writing it down. It's so funny. Whenever I do this and I pause and they're quiet, they're like, I'm just writing this down. I'm like, I know, I can sense it. So I say, so here's what it looks like. So it's 6 weeks. We kick off in June, and then I'll go into the dates. It kicks off June 12th. We're going to do a prep call prior to the retreat. Then on June 24th and June 25th, that's when we're going to all be together in Rancho. See how slow I'm saying it? In Rancho Santa Fe. It's about 30 minutes away from San Diego. Now, accommodations are not included. However, we will be, in person together in this beautiful mansion from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Lunch is included. So I just go through those logistics, and then I talk about the group coaching calls that are happening afterwards and share why. So on a few of those bullet points, you could say the reason why we have coaching calls afterwards. Originally, I was not going to have that. And I also think about how sometimes when I've attended a workshop, like an intensive workshop or retreat like that, I think about questions afterwards, like, oh, I wish I could have asked this, or I wish I could have gotten coaching on that. So I added a bonus of these coaching calls around the retreat so that you can really maximize everything that you've learned and put it into action and implementation in your business and start to see the results. So I break it down so that it's really digestible, and I share it slow. So I would even go further than that, but you get the gist of it, right? And then I would say, once I've talked about the logistics, I would say, so Gustavo, I'm just looking at who's on right now, based on, as far as the logistics go, how does that sound to you? And then I'd be quiet because they might have some questions like, well, what if I miss one of the group coaching calls? Or, okay, so looking at my calendar, what are the dates again? I'd say June 24th and 25th. Yes, it's a Sunday, Monday. Maybe sound odd, but these are the 2 days. And don't worry, we're going to focus on really making a difference for you. So I make sure I answer all of their questions. until they're all answered. And then I transition into the actual investment, right? So that's when I would say, yes. And for the investment, you can decide. I know some of you have invested in different programs and there's always a payment plan. You can decide if you want to offer financing or not. Typically, I offer a pay in full option as well as a payment plan of financing my clients if they're really wanting, not at a place to invest at the higher level right up front in full, and instead they'd like to break it down. That's a courtesy move, by the way. Sometimes people have it as an expectation because there are a lot of people in the industry that offer that. I know coaches who only offer pay in full, and they're like, you get to stand in responsibility and find a way. If you need a payment plan, there's a credit card, there's PayPal, credit, there's all sorts of things you can do in order to make this payment so that the financing is not on me, which the more I hear about that, I'm like, this may be a way to hold my clients even higher than what I have been doing. At the same time, I also know that ultimately it's about helping them have their breakthrough, and my team and I work with you through that. So does that make sense? So you can have a pay upfront and full offer, which then you would actually give a discount because then they're paying upfront and full, and you don't have to worry about any collections or payment plans. Because sometimes, for those who've been in the business for a while, you know that sometimes when people have the best of intentions for making payments, the date comes up and they're like, oh no, I don't have the money or the credit. And that's once again a coachable opportunity for you to hold them high, see how you can help them, and then also protect your business. Like if someone is really has an outstanding invoice for month after month, at some point you get to release them because it's not taking a stand for them and responsibility. This has been something I've needed to break through because oftentimes I'm like, oh, I just really want to help them. And I realize that if I keep them on board and I'm enabling them to say, hey, it's okay to not follow through with your commitments. It's okay to keep getting behind. And I would hope that someone would help me to have that breakthrough and hold me high and even give me a stretch challenge to make it happen versus, oh, it's okay, you don't have to pay. It's like, that's not holding me to my highest version of me. Does that make sense? So I know I've been talking your ear off here. I hope that there have been some golden nuggets. And now I'm open for Q&A. So I'm going to give some shout outs. This is where I always take a little sip of my coffee. This is my I Heart My Bella dog mug. It's backwards. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and post it now. And let's see here. I always like to give a shout. Hi, Donna. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Diane. Hey, Naomi. Hey, Vet. Oh, it's so good to have all of you here. Good morning. Hi, Lahia. Hey, Kelly, Gustavo, Chrissy, Monique, Shannon, Tracy. I always want to say aloha, Tracy. For those who get to live on the islands. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Pamela. Hey, Judy. Okay, Jody. Yes, you're welcome. Hugs to all of you too. Naomi, yeah, you said that your dad passed 9 years ago. Yeah, it's like we still think about them, don't we? We miss them. Yes, you're welcome. Hi, Megan. Hi, Andrea. Sophia. Oh my gosh, great turnout. Yeah, so if you have any questions, this is your chance to think about it. So if there was one thing that I could help you overcome or resolve in your business today, what would it be? And just think about like where do you feel stuck right now? What can I help you with? Because this is your chance to get some coaching from me. Do a quick time check too. Oh, thank you, Andrea. Yeah. Also, if you're thinking about people that that this can make a difference for, go ahead and tag their name in the comments and invite them in. And because we still have a little bit of a stretch between now and the end of our May Marketing Bootcamp, and I know there's been people who've jumped in halfway through, like, oh my gosh, I just went back and watched every single one of them up until this point, and I've been taking steps and having breakthroughs. I mean, there's been people who have made more sales, increased rates, built more confidence. So it's been really great. Okay, so Kelly, do you wait to say the price until after overview and logistics, or do you say it first and then explain 3 steps? Kelly, I wait until after the overview and logistics because I find that when they can see the value of how it's connecting in with their vision and how I've structured it in a way that's going to really land with them, then it's like they're already enrolled before they're enrolled in the actual investment part of it. So I always think about the last time I made a big investment, so a high ticket offer can be anything from $2,000 up. And so while this wasn't a huge investment, still $2,000, right? So when I was at Lisa Sasovich's event last week. You know, I went as her guest, and I thought this would be great to support her and network and see how she does her 3-day live event, because she's brilliant at it. And I have my 3-day event coming up October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. You know, dream big in Phoenix. I can't wait. So once I have more information on that, I'll be sharing it with all of you. But all that being said, so here I am, sitting at her conference, and maybe I shared the story before a little bit, but as soon as she started talking about this offer she was making, she was talking about, for those of you who want to put on a 3-day live event, and I'm like, my ears perk up, like, that's me, so even though it was one to many, right? It wasn't like we were having a one-on-one conversation. She's like, here are the steps that you want to take. And basically she was outlining, like, she's like, I do have an offer for you. So she did say that she had an offer, and that would help you in your 3-day live event. I was like, oh, I'm already enrolled. Like, I didn't even know what the investment was. I just knew that she's really great at putting on these 3-day live events. Of course, I have my business mentor, Shanna Sumter, too, who's going to be guiding me. So just having like some structure and some templates here, and having some like really high level guidance here, like, I know it's just gonna be amazing. So as soon as she started going through like what are the benefits of it, and then what the logistics are of it, I was like, I just nudged my, Olga, who was sitting next to me, my friend, and who's on my team. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm all right. Oh no, what's the damage, And if it had been 5,000, I would have stepped in. The normal price is 5,000, and I would have said yes, because I make decisions that are in line with my vision. That's it. Just it would take a really big stretch for me to go, I don't know if I can afford that, because I just don't believe in it. I believe that when it's a priority and it's something that's my next step, then I will find a way. So anyway, I think it's best to go over the overview and the logistics first, and then go into the investment and trust the process. Okay. Jessica, what are some of your best tips for follow-up? Oh, Jessica, I love this question. The power is in the follow-up. So what I do is I think about how I like people to follow up with me if I haven't made my decision yet. So if somebody's a hard no, like, stop calling me, then respect them. They're out. If they're like, oh, I need to think about it, or I just don't know if this is the right time, they're actually giving you clues as to what their vulnerabilities are. So I always like to think about, the little girl version or the little boy version of them that's in their fear. Like, we all have that little version of ourselves, like, I'm scared. Like, this is a big next step. And what if it doesn't work? Or what if this is a scary thing for me because what if I can't, just all the stuff that comes up. So I just think about, how would I want somebody to follow up with me? I certainly wouldn't want them blowing up my phone every 10 minutes. I certainly wouldn't want them to come from a place of scarcity and like attachment to me where it feels pushy or uncomfortable. Instead, I would want them to hold me high, really listen to what it is that I want, what my vision is, and take a stand for my vision, just as I take a stand for your vision. So Jessica, to answer your question, I think about each person uniquely, and I think about, like, whenever I coach my VIPs on this, or my colleagues on this, or even my powerhouse clients, I always ask them, okay, what was the last piece of correspondence or communication that was had? When was it and what was it? And usually they'll say, well, I sent a follow-up email to her and I haven't heard back. I'll say, great, what did you say? And I'll say, oh, thank you so much. It was so great chatting with you. And I just want to see if you've thought any more about the program. I'm like, that's okay. At least you're following up. What's better is if you reach out and just say, hey, so-and-so, I was just thinking about you, loved our like, be your authentic self. So I would say something like, I absolutely love chatting with you, especially when you shared with me this. So I insert something about the vision or something about our connection I loved. And so this is something you could do, is think about something you can gift them. Something you can gift them, whether you send them a link to a video that you've done, or maybe it's somebody else's, like a motivational video, a quote. Just say, yeah, I just had this thought that, this made me think of you, and send it to them. So it could just be a give without a call to action. Or you may have an idea for them, like a strategic idea for them that has worked for you, or people you've helped, or clients or colleagues or friends, and just say, hey, there's something that has worked really well for me, and also, my clients or colleagues, and I wanted to share it with you. Are you around tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific? And we can jump on a quick call, and it'll be easier to share it with you over the phone. And sometimes they'll come back and say to me, they'll be like, yeah, Amy, I just don't want to waste any more of your time because I just don't have the money to invest in Powerhouse California. I think you're great, but I just don't want to take advantage. And then I say, you know what? Allow yourself to receive. I'm not attached to whether or not you step into Powerhouse California. Let me help you. That's it. They're like, okay. So we jump on a call. The key thing is to re-engage with them. Ideally, you jump back on a call or, Skype or Zoom. So you're wanting to re-engage. and then bring them back to their vision and make the offer again. That's what I do. Diane, what's a good way to break through procrastination? Diane, it's all about commitment, right? So the questions that I told my fitness coach to say to me is say to me, like, what's my commitment? How badly do I want it? And what's my vision? So I just think about those 3 questions and bringing it back to my vision and just ask myself, like, okay, I can either procrastinate or I can decide how badly do I want my vision. And the vision always wins. So that's how I do it. Jessica, when somebody is thinking about it, any text message tips? Let's see. Okay. I always like to put myself in the situation. So if somebody's like, yeah, I'm thinking about it and I want to text them. Okay. So I would think about the person. So of course it'd be customized, personalized to them, but I might say, hey, Jessica, let's see. If it's been a day or two, I'd say something like, hey, Jessica, I was just thinking about you. I might say something like, what are you excited about today? Like, I can't help but coach, so like, what are you excited about today? Or what are you focusing on today? And, something just short and sweet. Or I may even say, same thing as the email, right? Hey, I was just thinking about you and I have a quick idea I want to share with you. Are you around this morning? Like, make it kind of an immediate thing or within the next 24 hours. The goal is to jump back on a call. That's the goal. Hi, Pamela. Okay. Megan, I'm moving and feeling I can only do that, struggling to run my business at the same time. So yeah, Megan, whenever I have something big going on, I even sometimes have the thought like, oh, I can do this for my business and do this thing. I even had that happen while I was at Lisa Stastovich's event. I was like, I can go to her event and in between things, I can like connect with my team also. And I was like, why do that? I get to be present while I'm here and then carve out time separately to do my business stuff. So if I'm really feeling like, okay, I get to be committed to my business too, then I would time block it. So I'd do a chunk of time when I'm packing or moving. On moving day, I would just focus on moving. That's it. That's what I would do. But if it's packing and unpacking, then I would carve out time for packing and then carve out at least an hour or 2 a day for my business and just make it a non-negotiable. Yeah, totally. Megan, for a booking app, you can use Acuity Scheduling, Acuity, Acuity scheduling.com. You can also use Calendly or Visita, VCITA. All of those are great. You're welcome. Hi, Mariana. Hi, Kate. Hey, Jess. Jess, I saw that you voice messaged me through Facebook, and for some reason I couldn't hear it, so I'm going to try again today. I had a weird, circle thing going on. So anyway, I'll get back to you. Valerie, this breakdown has been super full, super wonderful. I'm having calls right now, or I'm in a place of service, would like to make offers to a few I'm working with. Do you find that making the offer on the call or doing a follow-up is better? Usually, Valerie, I just make the offer on the initial call. If I've really done a good job of deeply connecting, hearing where they are now in relation to where they want to go, and if I know deep down inside I can help them, I will totally stand for that. So I'd say, Valerie, I know I can help you. And I know where you are now. And I know, I mix things up, now that I've been doing this for a long time. So I know that the structure can help a lot of you who are really taking your conversations to the next level. I come back to my structure all the time and I sometimes ad-lib a little bit, but I would just say, I know where you are now and I know where you want to go and I know I can get you there. So as you build confidence, beyond the beyond you conversation, you'll find yourself, I have a very strong belief in who I can help. And so I'll just say that. I'm like, I know I can help you. And usually they can feel it too. We could both feel like, yeah, I know you can. So I'm like, okay, so let's just do this. So as you build confidence, you will likely feel confident to say things like that. So that's next level enrollment where you're just you just need to do that. So typically when you're really becoming masterful in the beyond you conversation, I would not say things like you should do this or I want you to do this because it's not about you. As you build confidence, then it's just about getting straight to the point. This is something this is your next step. So does that help? Great questions, by the way. If this has been helpful for you, go ahead and click on the share button, put a personal note, because we can make a difference together for other purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Okay. Yeah, so Jessica, I always, if you want to determine if it's too pushy, read back what you've wrote down or typed down. And to say, if somebody said this to me, would I receive it as pushy? Because the goal is to never push. Never, ever, ever push. You're welcome. Hey, Ella. I know I get to see you soon. Excited to see you. Okay. Yes, Yvette. Yes, watch the replay for sure. Take notes. This will help you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Mariana. Okay, I know I'm going probably a little long here. Okay, I'm just going to roll with it. This is in the spirit of generosity. Okay, and then I'll wrap it up. Mariana, my sister, Mariana. She's not my actual sister. She's soul sister, though, as I'm sure many of you are. Okay, would you offer something different for a client that has a money objection? For example, first 3-month service and then revisit moving forward with the rest of the program duration. Mariana, typically no. There have been 2 times in the last, 6 years where I've done something like that. If I'm seeing that for whatever reason, I'm not able to hold their hand through the resistance, then I've done a 6-month, I'll say, you know what, I'm going to make this one exception, which again, I've done twice, I've helped hundreds of clients. So it really takes like a special person and a moment where I'm just like, to help you past your stuff, let's do 6 months with the recommendation, but not an obligation to renew at the 6-month mark. But 98%, 99%, 99.5% of the time, it's the full commitment. I'm looking for people who are fully committed. So remember, the money objection is not about money. It's about fear. It's about the fear who am I to think I can do this? It's the fear of, I've done other programs before, or I've invested in things, or I've had a bad experience and I haven't followed through. So now I'm scared. So you get to hold their hand and just say, lead with compassion. I hear you. I understand. And here's your next step. All right. I know I've gone super long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you've had a breakthrough in the MMB Marketing Bootcamp, I would love to hear what that breakthrough is, because my team and I are always listening and seeing what your comments are. And if there's something else that you're needing or have a question about, I had to have this special request. If you could put it in the comment section right now while it's top of mind, like either what's been a big takeaway that you've had so far, or what's a question that you have that I can address in your business. And because, like I said, I'm here to serve you. So thank you again for being with me in my vulnerable story earlier in this Facebook Live, and also being here for the training, because I know that you're going to take this information, put it into inspired action, and make a bigger difference in the world. All right, sending you all much love. I'll be back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, and we're going to continue rocking out this MMB Marketing Bootcamp. Sending you all much love. Bye.